What's up, Shakers? Today we're here at the Handshakin Video Series with an incredibly exciting guest. We're here with JP DeJoria. JP, thanks for joining the Handshakin Video Series. To start us off, could you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yes, certainly. I'm a first-generation American and was born in downtown Los Angeles, with very much of immigrant parents who believed the American dream could come true. Graduated from high school. Nothing special, maybe a B- student. Went into the United States Navy, went out, had a variety of jobs, but always believed the American dream would work, and eventually it did.
So, could you tell us the first time you tried something entrepreneurial?
Sure. I was 7 years old the first time I started something entrepreneurial. I was at the Variety Boys and Girls Club in East LA. We had a little gang at the time, and my brother and I made a flower box. They gave us a quarter's worth of wood on credit. Nice round flower box. Gave him the quarter, made the flower box, and walked up the street selling it. Sold it to a waitress for 50 cents in a coffee shop. Went back, paid our quarter, made another one, got 50 cents. We were the happiest kids in the world because that was pure net profit afterwards. And this is 1951 and 52. So 50 cents in those days went a hell of a lot longer. I think going to a movie was 20 cents, so it went a lot further, and that was pretty exciting. That was my first venture. Yeah,
that's really exciting. And then moving forward, I know we're here at a gorgeous salon. Maybe you could speak a little bit to the salon and Paul Mitchell.
Oh my God, the reason I'm doing this for your whole group here is because the wonderful people that own this salon here in Denver, Colorado, had asked me to do it, okay? They're dear friends of mine. They're one of our focus salons, and I'm sure you'll talk about the salon and maybe show their logo here.
Absolutely.
Because they deserve it. Well, these are great people. These are people that are also entrepreneurs, and they started with virtually nothing. Opened one salon, did really, really well, opened up a second one, and Cara is just one of the most incredible educators we have at Paul Mitchell, so I'm here to support him. So I came by today to buy some products. A friend of mine had a little situation. We had to come to Denver to the hospital. The girls had no products with them, his wife nor my wife. So I came in here, bought products for him, because they're my customer, they buy from me. And that's when he said, hey JP, would you do me a favor? I have some friends here that have a TV show, and these are the coolest entrepreneurial people. You should do a show on them, they're so cool. And all of a sudden we're together.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining. And Mike, let's get a little Peloton logo, Peloton website. Thank you guys over at Peloton Shakers. They're the guys who help me edit the videos. Let's fast forward, or I think rewind from today, fast forward from the 1950s. Could you tell me about when you launched Paul Mitchell?
Sure.
You had a small loan and just, wow.
Well, we launched Paul Mitchell in 1980. We had a backer for $500,000 who pulled out. That's what we knew to start a company. Never gave us a dime. I left everything I was doing. I was the business part of it. My partner, Mr. Mitchell, was the hairdresser. We started a company, and we actually started it with $700. So each bar, he had $350. I had a few $100s to live on because I left everything behind. And I borrowed from my mom a few dollars, and we started John Paul Mitchell Systems, and I lived in the back of my car. And it was really hard, but we believed what we could do would work. So it was like we had 30-day credit on our bottles, our filling, and a few other things. We'd have to go out and sell it. Now, were we able to pay the first bill on time? Absolutely not. But we promised that checks in the mail were on our way. And it was that way for about 2 years. And then one day, 2 years after we started, we realized we made it. The turning point was we were able to pay our bills on time. This 2 years in the business, not pay them off, pay them on time, and have $2,000 each left over. We said, my God, we made it. America still works. People have to know that. People have to know the American dream still works. There's ups and downs, but there's no country like America. America's just a great country.
Absolutely. So when you start a business with $700, what's going through your mind?
Well, what's going through my mind is no matter what happens, we're going to make it. The answering machine was our office, with a girl's voice on it that was a friend of mine who was British, so it seemed like we were bigger. Our address was a P.O. box in Universal City, which cost me very little. So we had an address, we had a telephone answering machine, looked like we were in business. We went to a print shop to print up our logo, which we then paid 4 cents each to put on a piece of paper, and then of course also put on envelopes. And on that same piece of paper, we drew our invoice, and then we're knocking door to door, selling salons our product. maybe knock on 50 doors, 3 of them said yes, and then walked into a distributor after I got 12 of them and said, would you like to be my local distributor? And they said, why do I want to be your local distributor? I have all these big lines, you know, and what's Paul Mitchell? Then I pulled out all 12 orders with checks and handed them to him and said, here's your 12 first customers, and I'll work with you in the field, but you got to buy a minimum of $2,000 worth. And he laughed his head off and said, okay. And then he also said to me, whenever you deliver, you know, our payments are 45 days. I said, I love you dearly, but we're just startup. Could you please pay me when it comes? $2,000, that's all. We need the money. He said, hey, we're owned by Helene Curtis. We're Paris Hayes Speedy Supply. We pay our bills in 45 days. I said, you know what? How about I give you an extra 5% off if you pay it when the order is delivered, so we can have operating money, and I promise you I'll be with you every day. Like I gave you 12 orders, I'll be with you every day till it's sold out. He said, it's a deal. And he came to our 30-year anniversary at Paul Mitchell. We're a little over 35 years old now. And he told the story. This guy, JP, left the office. In 2 minutes, my warehouse man says, there's some guy here unloading out of the back of this car a hair care product called Paul Mitchell. He wants a check. He said, I couldn't believe it. The guy was just in my office. So he came around back, laughed his head off, handed me a check for $2,000. Of course, I was there until he sold every single bottle.
Wow. Geez, Shakers. Like, get out there, set high goals, use your creativity to launch your business and really protect your image. Just kill it with the image using the smallest amount possible, and have incredibly high goals, and be real with other business owners that you may work with, right? So, okay, and then let's spend a little bit of time talking about Patron. Could you tell us that story?
Sure. Started Patron in 1989. Sitting around my place up in the hills of Southern California, and a friend of mine had gone bankrupt. I put him in the architectural business with furniture, niche business. He would go to architects that had model homes and sell them furniture or restaurants. Go to Mexico, buy pavers, buy furniture, come up and sell it. I said, Martin, next time you're down there, see what the aristocrats drink. Bring back that tequila. He brought back 2 very thin bottles to JP. I was in this one town. This is really smooth. Check this out. And it was smooth. He says, but also, I met this guy named Francisco, who is the chef of all tequilas. He can make it smoother. I said, well, can we put it in recycled bottles? And he brought a bottle back, which looked like the Patron bottle. And I said, God, that's great. Can we make it out of recycled glass? He goes, yes, we can. So I said, well, let's try it. Let's order 1,000 cases. That's 12,000 bottles. Because it was made out of Highlander Weber Blue Agave, it was very expensive to make. We had to sell it for $37 in 1989, where I believe the most expensive tequila at the time was maybe $14. The normal one was $4 or $5 for a bottle. Really, really high. But we had, that's what it cost. It was very expensive. It was very mellow, expensive to make. And that's how we launched it. And needless to say, it's come a long way since that time. Today, it's the #1 ultra premium tequila in the world. And even though there's several hundred brands out there now, people go away from Patron, try something else. They always come, or not all of them, the majority always come back to Patron. They feel better. They have less of what you call the hangover headache the next day, or none, and they get that little buzz that they want. So it's done very well. We've done very, very well worldwide. I think the important thing, though, for all of your viewers and people that are associated with you to know, is that success unshared is failure. Whether it's Paul Mitchell or Patron, both companies give back a lot. We're still involved, for example, with the St. Bernard Project in New Orleans, where Katrina went through there years ago. We're still building houses. Our staff go down there. Whether it's building houses to save young ladies from prostitution in Thailand, or helping out the homeless or those to get off welfare here in the United States, or giving the homeless people a place to live, or cleaning up waterways, or in Africa, feeding orphans whose parents have died of AIDS, supporting the Sea Shepherd, supporting conservation organizations like Clean the Waterways of the World, Waterkeeper Alliance. It's very important for anybody up and coming to know. Success unshared is failure. Now, do you need money to do that? No, you don't. Give a little bit of your time to do that. Give some of your time, some of your energy. One of the newest companies I just launched is ROK, R-O-K, mobile.com. How do we give back? ROKmobile.com. How do we give back? We only charge $49.95 for your mobile phone. You could pick the carrier you want to go with. On the phone you want to use, your own phone, or buy another one. For that $49, you get all your phone calls, all your texting, all your data, no limitations, and all your music, over 20 million songs, right? It's all there. That's the only bill you have. With charities, we take off the top 4% of the gross and give it straight to the charitable organization.
Wow.
Because giving back is the way you do it. So when we launched this new company, which is becoming very, very successful, you go online or go to independent stores that might carry it, ROK Mobile. It means that we did something good, but we launched the company in mind with not when we make profit, but immediately 4% with all the charities we get involved with on this, get that extra amount every single month. So we started Success Unshared. However, with a lot of people starting up, they may not afford to do it. We did it because we thought it was the future. We did the same with John Paul Pet. I said, I'll get involved with John Paul Pet. I'll start it with you, Mr. John Capra. If we give back my portion of animals, before we made money, we were in a deficit. We started supporting animal rights groups immediately. I could afford to do that now because I have Patron Paul Mitchell. But when I had Patron and Paul Mitchell in the early days, we couldn't afford to do it. So we gave of our time to help people out.
Yeah.
You may know at Paul Mitchell, we're the first to say we will never test on animals, we'll test on ourselves, and we were true to the state. It's one of the ways we could give back, even though we didn't have any money.
Yeah, wow, pay it forward, Shakers. So we got to dive right into our first topic of community. Because, you know, of course you can give back once you've made it, but start early, start immediately. One of the biggest things we've found from all the guests we've interviewed is that joining a community of entrepreneurs allows you to then give back. You can give first, give, not expecting anything in return. It's about the community. So then, how early should an entrepreneur start giving? It sounds like immediately is.
It's not money. Giving could be your time. It could be as simple as walking down the street. There's a piece of paper in the middle of the sidewalk, not yours. You pick it up and put it in the trash can. Give of your time. Smile at people every day. Help someone across the street. Carry baggage. Someone's broke down by the side of the road. Pull over. They need help. Help. Jack their car up, man, and fix their tire for them. In other words, do something immediately. Every human being in every company that's starting should do something to change their city, their community, obviously, their state, their country, and eventually the world. And what happens is when you do this, you personally feel enlightened because you know that you're here to do something for somebody else, asking nothing in return but to be of service to them. You get the highest high of anybody in the world by just doing that. You get the high. And you don't need to smoke weed or to do any drugs to do it. It's just a big natural high that you get by doing that. And your company's better also. Your company, when you start having people involved with you, is more cohesive. You're doing something together, even though it doesn't require monetary means.
Love it. Love it. Pay it forward immediately, Shakers. Right now, today. Get out there, do something nice. Maybe it's Smile. Maybe it's helping your buddy's startup with their SEO strategy if you're an SEO specialist. But pay it forward without expecting anything in return. I think that's a good wrap up for conclusion. Anything to add to that?
I certainly do. A lot of people ask as entrepreneurs, what is your advice, John Paul, to new entrepreneurs up and coming? I have two pieces of advice. Number one is be prepared for a lot of rejection. It's like knocking, when I sold encyclopedias, Collier's door to door in my early 20s, I'd knock on 50 doors that were closed in my face or politely said, no thank you, but I had just as much enthusiasm on door 51 or door number 108 as I did on the first door. You're going to get rejection, whether it's your idea, whether it's your approach, you're going to get rejection, period. If you're prepared for it, it doesn't hit you hard and stop you. Be prepared for a lot of rejection and go right past it. Second thing is, successful people do all the things unsuccessful people don't want to do. Like work till midnight if you had to, work on weekends, believe that what you have is the best, but make sure that whatever service or product you are selling, it's the best you could possibly make, and let everybody know the feature of your product, but how it benefits them. Those are the two biggest suggestions I can make to entrepreneurs.
Wow, strong.
Pleasure interviewing with you. Peace, love, and happiness to everybody there, and may they be successful. America still works, and maybe other parts of the world do too.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for your time. If we want to find you online, where's the best spot?
I am computer illiterate by choice. I don't even have email. The best you can do is go to John Paul Mitchell Systems, .com, and punch my name in philanthropy, or go to the Peace, Love, and Happiness Foundation. That's my family giving foundation, the Peace, Love, and Happiness Foundation. If you go to that, you'll see what we do philanthropically. If you want a quick lesson in entrepreneurship, type into your computer Stanford University, and then type in John Paul DeJoria. I did a lecture about 3 years ago for 45 minutes to MBAs and graduates of the Entrepreneur College on how to start a business with little to no money. Check that out. Another thing, you go online to the Donnie Deutsch Show. Okay, he hasn't done a show in 4 years, but it's still there. I've done 4 shows with him. One of them was he and I for a period of about half an hour, just the two of us, and I showed step for step how I launched Paul Mitchell, how I presented our first products, and made it through it. Free.
Wow. There it is. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Shakers, we'll see you later.